Hey guys, welcome to episode number 28 of the Hold On To Your Butts podcast. Today on the show, we've got a special guest, Gus, in the studio with us. We discuss the most epic day in pop culture, at least for the year, maybe in a long time. October 27th is tomorrow. A lot of big releases. We discuss that. Wyatt tells us how shitty the Snowman movie was. We talk about how we would cast our favorite childhood movie reboots. That and a lot more, so sit back, crack open a cold one, and enjoy! That's the way to start this.
On to your butt.
And remember, Gus, that this Hold On To Your Butts is a strictly coincidental name. It has nothing to do with any trademarked entities that are currently out there.
Yeah, we made it up.
We made it up. Just something we always said.
We always said it growing up.
Just always said it.
Why were we always holding our butts?
It's a good question. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 28 of the Hold On To Your Bust podcast.
I like that topic. I'm going to start a competing podcast.
Hold On To Your Bust. Guys, I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Again, we never retake.
Yeah, we don't
We go one time all the way through. Doesn't matter how shitty it is because I'm not editing it. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 28 of the Hold On To Your Butts podcast. I'm your host, Brogan, joined as always by my good buddy, Wyatt. No buddy in studio today, but we do have a seat fill. No, I don't like it.
Seat
An
fill.
EV. An EV, as you know, we call them here on the show. We call our guests EVs, external variables, because we just don't know what's going to happen with them. Who knows? But ladies and gentlemen, Gus, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you. You know, I think you were our first official guest. Is that Buddy started as a guest, and then he sort of transitioned into like a full-time.
Yeah, it was his interview. And then, no, we've had others. We had the porn doctor.
That's right. Yep, the porn doctor.
We had Aaron. We had Nick. We've had a lot of.
Wait, so you're saying this is an interview? I wasn't prepared for this.
Why? Can I talk to you over here off mic, a little away from Gus
First
for a second?
all,
Look, hey, let me just tell you one thing, okay? Before I don't want Gus to hear this.
I might need to take these off.
I was trying to make it feel special.
I'm going to ask him the question. Okay. Why are you qualified to be on this show?
That's a tough question. I'm qualified because I got invited. I think that's the only.
Checks out. That's everything we needed.
We got invited. He found his way to the house.
That's true.
That's
true.
So he's got it. We know that he can use Google Maps. So solid. Did you guys come together, or you just walked in together at the same time?
We were at the same hotel.
We were at the same hotel.
Yeah.
Don't you live locally?
We had to hide from our girlfriends.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
They don't listen to this podcast,
Sure,
right?
no. They're on it sometimes, but they still don't listen to
Kirsten
it.
definitely doesn't listen to
Nope.
this podcast, I can tell you that. Unless she's on it, she doesn't give a fuck about it.
And I feel like today's podcast, just as a warning up front, I feel like with Gus here, I think it's going to be really video game heavy. I know, sometimes it's a little bit different for us, but there's a lot coming out tomorrow. I guess it's not just video games that are coming out tomorrow. Let me back up a second here. So we are on the eve of October 27th. We record this on Thursday nights. And tomorrow, October 27th, is the biggest day in pop culture in, I don't even know how long. There is an insane amount of shit coming out tomorrow. Insane amount. And we'll get into that a little bit later on the show. But just as sort of a pre-warning, there's going to be a lot of video game talk, a lot of entertainment talk, maybe more video games than we've done recently. So if you're into that, great. If not, skip forward to the end, but don't miss our topic today because we think it's a pretty good one coming up at the end of the show. Remember, a couple housekeeping items before we get started. If you want to be a part of the show, you can email us at geeks, that's GEEKS at HOTYB.co. If you have a question for the crew or you want to suggest a topic for us to do at the end of the show, we're always open to that. Please reach out to us. We're also on Twitter, I think. Still no graphics. But at HOTYB_show, you can reach out to us there, tweet at us, because we're hip, We're going to get on Instagram here soon and Snapchat and all the things that the kids do, and probably ignore those things too. So so please feel free to reach out to us. So Gus, back to you, my friend.
Yep.
So Gus, you are a video gamer. What console is your gaming choice?
I started with Nintendo. I started with Ninja Turtles way back in the day, Super Nintendo. I had the original Nintendo, but as a handover from my cousins.
Nice.
But I mean
the NES, like the classic, like gray cartridge that goes in horizontally.
Oh yeah, the old fashioned one. And I wish I had kept it. My mom sold it, like every mom ever does.
Damn it!
It's like a thing, right?
How much did she get for it?
I don't know.
Was
probably
it a garage
nothing.
sale?
Yeah, it was a garage sale. Oh. So probably like $1 or something.
So I have a story about that. I'm gonna interject real quick.
Oh, go for it.
My dad told me this story. So he had this friend growing up, and he grew up in the 60s or something like that. Like sort of the oh my god, I'm the comic guy. I can't even remember what's the era of comics the 60s were. It was like the golden.
That was Silver Age.
Silver Age. It's like the Silver Age of comics. He had this one friend who would get every single Batman comic the week it came out, from 1960 through like 1972 when he went to college. Like every single Batman, and like a bunch of other DC titles too, like some of the first Green Lanterns and like some of the first Flashes, and like an insane collection. He would read them once and he would put them bag and board and put them away. Like that's all he ever did with this thing. He goes to college.
No.
And his mom doesn't even sell them, she just throws them out. And he comes home from college and he's like, Mom, where are my comics? And she's like, oh, I threw them out. You were in college now. I figured you didn't want those that kid stuff anymore. I threw it out with all your other toys. And he's like, what?
Oh,
do you realize the gold
Probably
that he probably had in there?
$1
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
To have I'm assuming 10th grade comics bagged and boarded.
I can't wait
once.
till I'm a parent and I want to just torture my kids and throw their shit away. My mom did that to me.
But you don't throw it away. You hide it and tell them that you threw it away, and then you hold on to it for yourself.
That'd be funny if she was like, "Yeah, I threw those away, but check out my new Mercedes."
My mom is like the total opposite. Like she'll call me randomly and be like, "Hey, Brogan, I found this 5-star binder that says Brogan's 5th grade project on it. Do you want to keep that, or should I throw it?" I'm like, "No, just throw it away."
You got an F on it.
Yeah,
I don't still want it.
I don't need my 5th grade projects.
Yeah, my mom was real bad about that.
Sorry. So Gus, Nintendo Entertainment System. Did you then graduate to the Super Nintendo at some point?
Yeah, I went all through all the stages, and I stopped at GameCube. I never actually went on to the Wii, which I've played before. It's a lot of fun, but I just never made it all the way. And then after that, I got into PlayStation, got into Resident Evil and all those really great games. Yeah. And then after that, when I went to college, I got into Xbox and started playing a lot of Call of Duty and I can't think of it right now. But I'm a gamer. I love all sorts of games. But I grew up Nintendo.
Nintendo guy. And are you back on Switch at all, or is that something that you want to invest in eventually?
I do eventually, yes. I think just right now, lately, I've been focused a lot on just online phones, which is the new thing apparently. So
what is it?
Or on phone games.
Oh, phone games.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Apps and stuff. So
yeah, we've been talking about that a lot recently.
We had
talked
a whole discussion about apps and
I think we looked into some study at some point. This is back on episode 3 for our Russian listeners who I'm sure really know our episode counts and want to chime in. But for our comrades there, and for you, it was episode 3. We talked about this gaming study that got released that said I don't know, something like 78% of adults consider themselves gamers, and a large portion of that was because they brought into the fold phone games, and we kind of went off on a tangent of, does that really make you a gamer? But then it's a
gamer is what you believe yourself
exactly.
as a gamer.
And those games have advanced so much that they're actually enjoyable and fun to play.
And there's an evolution of gaming, I think. You think back all the way to arcades, and those people would probably consider themselves gamers at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you move on to
maybe even the most hardcore of gamers, the people that really
those are the true gamers, the Godfathers.
There's so many types of gamers. You got computer gamers, you've got console gamers. Those two clash against each other. Now you've got cell phones. You've got all sorts of type of gamers.
It's interesting to me. It kind of feels like the industry revolves around console gamers, though, just because I think they move the most units. It's easier to sell a $60 game on a console.
It's cheaper.
Yeah, because you need. How much did you spend on your? Well, you didn't even spend that much on your PC comparatively, right?
Oh, people will pay $5 to $10,000. Me, I probably spent a little under $2,000.
Yeah, and that's a perfectly good PC that can run, I'm sure, any modern title that is run on console just as smooth, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's easier to sell a $400 console and then sell $60 games to go with it and stuff. So it's interesting. But to your point, everyone is gaming at some level and stuff. So you do the mobile stuff. What kind of games do you play on mobile?
it's embarrassing, but lately I've been obsessed with Pokemon.
Oh,
Pokemon
nice.
Go.
Pokemon Go? Nice.
Yeah,
Are they still like supporting that pretty strong? Or...
It's a lot better than it was when I first started, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I grew up with Pokemon. I grew up playing the card game.
Were you red or blue?
I was always blue.
Okay.
But I chose red this time, which
Crips.
is interesting. I know, right? But I grew up like as a kid hoping. I mean, I was little when the card game came out. I was like, I wish you could play I wish you could actually have real Pokemon in real life. And I was like, oh, it'd be cool to have them battle and kill each other and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, kill each other is pretty
strong.
There's probably,
that's what they do.
You know what's going to be really interesting to see? I wonder if they update that game more when the new iPhone comes out, because they have all got the AR built into it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you looked into that at all, but that was one of the big things that they brought out at the keynote speech for the new iPhone, was that you can do AR games where I could be holding my phone. I know this is an audio podcast. We do this all the time. But I'm holding a phone over the table. If you could actually see, I had one Pokemon, you had another Pokemon, and we threw them out on the table, and we could see the battle happening through our phones. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really, really cool. And I wouldn't be surprised.
They do something similar with the VR with Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So you put it on and you can see the world around you, and you can interact with it. So a person will be standing on Namek even though you're not even part of the game.
Yeah.
Wait, so you can battle with Dragon Ball Z with VR? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a letdown a little bit. It's more of all you can do is fly, and you can look around, and then you can comment the Kamehameha wave against somebody else, and you guys just where they hit it and they push against each other.
But you know what? I think we're at a cusp of online gaming or with gaming in general, where you're starting to get into this VR stuff, virtual reality, where you are really kind of moving on to the next level of gaming, which I think is really interesting.
And I think Pokemon Go is a really big reason for that. You know what I mean? That we're making that push, and that we see this AR technology starting to take over and kind of grab the masses. Because before that, it was you had to have an Oculus Rift. I know it's different. VR is different than AR, but to have an Oculus Rift, you have to have this hugely powerful machine, and then buy the $600 Oculus Rift, and that's such a barrier to entry. But everyone's got a smartphone, and if somehow you can immerse people in gaming in a different and unique way using something that is already inside all their pockets,
required to your life. Yeah.
Exactly. That could be really cool.
I think I remember when the Switch came out, I was excited for Zelda, and I love Pokemon Blue. I absolutely love that game as a kid, and I want that game to either be I can buy it on the Nintendo shop, or I want them to create a new one, and I know it's in the works, but I cannot wait for that. Oh, yeah. And I think for you, though, you said you're trying to get back into it. I think now is the time to get into the Switch for everything that's coming out tomorrow.
And everything that's come out, too. If you come on now, okay, this is actually really interesting to break this down. Okay, so when the Switch came out, in March, right? So we were really excited about it. Wyatt and I were day one purchasers of the Switch. We had it, and we had Zelda, so we were happy. But then it's after a while, you beat Zelda, and you're shit, what do I use this thing for? There's nothing else out. And Mario Kart, which is just a port from the old, Wii U version, still a great game, and it's really fun to hold your Switch and play with the Switch, so I got Mario Kart for that. That's the second killer app for it. And then now you've got, I guess Splatoon is pretty cool. Buddy, who's normally on the podcast with us, is a big fan of Splatoon, likes to play that. But then now Mario. So you've got two, even if you just looked at Zelda and Mario, to me, that is worth the ticket, just to get a Switch. Because those are 10 out of 10 games. Yeah. Unbelievable. And you can take them with you wherever you go, and it's really fun.
I cannot wait for Mario tomorrow. So Kirsten and I were supposed to see a movie tomorrow, but I told her, I was like, okay, so this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get off work, and I'm going to go home, and I'm going to play Mario until you come over, and then you pick a movie, and then we'll go see it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to discuss or talk with you until we're actually walking out the door to the movie. So I'm going to be playing Mario Odyssey. I can't wait for that game.
Kendall really wants to play that one together, and I'm I don't know. I kind of just want to buy it by myself. I don't know.
I told Kirsten that we could... I don't mind doing a game together, but I'm going to have my separate save file. I swear I'm going to play mine, and I'm going to be way far ahead because I'm going to play way more hours than she is. And then we can play together on a separate save file. Yeah. I'm not going to slow play, especially I don't live with her, so I'm not going to slow play it.
Yeah. You don't need to.
She wanted to play Zelda. I was like, you can borrow it now and play. She's like, well, you already beat it. And I was like, yep. You are welcome to do it. I don't care.
I'll help you if you get stuck. I'm here. Yeah.
Whatever.
So I would, now is a really good time to consider getting a Switch. I really like I travel a lot for work and stuff, and so to be able to take my games with me and I know you're a phone guy, so you're already doing that anyways, but to have like that console experience on the road or on a plane or something, it's great.
Do they have Pokemon on the plane? You ever been on a plane and looked at Pokemon Go? I know you're supposed to airplane mode it.
It doesn't work because you've got to have like location, and then you've got to have internet connectivity as well.
But if you switched it on up there just for a second,
would there
like
be a
air
Mewtwo?
Pokemon?
What if there was
something?
like an ultra rare Mewtwo in the cockpit?
Yeah, you got like a Pikachu, and he's wearing like a Grateful Dead T-shirt.